You should look. You should go. What's up?
No.
There, do it.
No.
Do it. Come on, man.
Are you ready?
I've been ready. I was waiting on you.
Am I supposed to look at the camera?
Well, when you're speaking.
To the camera?
Yes.
Okay.
Or you can look at me. Okay, first off, let me get this out of the way. Go.
No.
It's all you.
No.
Come on, man.
Stop. You're so mean.
So we just got back from the Butterfield hiking trail, which is inside Devil's Den State Park, which is almost, it's just south of Fayetteville. It was daunting. It was arduous.
Boston.
Boston. She learned that Boston means hard, difficult.
Difficult. It's a Western
I don't believe
term.
her. I need to look that
It's a
up.
Western
So
term.
she's going to tell you about the trail for a second while I look it up on her phone because I don't believe it.
When we got there, we had to register, and we went to...
Which is normal. That
Yeah,
part's normal.
It is normal. Since we've never done a backpacking trip before, we had never had to register like this. And we filled out the registration form, and then all of a sudden, it comes to this one part that says, when do you expect to be out? And if you're not out by a certain time, when do you want us to send a search party?
And she freaked out. What do you mean a search party? When they ask us this stuff, she just starts blurting out numbers like, oh yeah, we'll be out by 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And I'm thinking, we just 15 miles.
Just random guess.
Just random. And I think we actually walked out at like 3:47.
Hey, I did it.
Yeah. When the lady asked us about the search party, like, how many hours after do you want the search party to start?
I said 8.
So I can't find anything yet about Boston means difficult. I'm going to look that up and
Yes.
I'll get back to you on that.
It's in the material.
I don't believe you. So, so this is the beginning of our hiking season. We don't normally hike through the colder winter months just because we're, what's the right word?
Ninnies?
Ninny's not the word I wasn't going to call myself a ninny. We just, neither of us like super cold weather. I don't mind 30 or 40 degrees, but anything colder than that, and I'm not going. We had some really cool hikes last year. We got to take our good friends Alan and Tara to Mount Nebo. We took, actually earlier this year, we took Angela and Lewis to Village Creek. So that was our getting ready hike. Butterfield was our first backpacking trip. I almost said through hike, but that's not the same thing. So normally what we do is we'll set up a base camp like at Mount Nebo or at Petit Jean with our larger tent, and then we'll go off and hit a trail and come back and stay at that site, and then go off and hit another trail and come back and stay at that site. With Butterfield, what we did was we hiked in 6.5 miles, camped, and then hiked 7.5 back out. So this was our first experience. Reading up on Butterfield, I thought this was going to be the best one to start it with, and it wasn't. It kicked my butt. I think it kicked our butts. One of the problems that I had, I carry in my Osprey, I carry 3 liters of water. She carries 2 liters of water in hers. So I thought 5 liters of water was going to be plenty for 2 days. Technically, just 30 hours. We were only out of the car for 30 hours. When you're drinking 32 ounces of coffee, 5 liters is not enough.
When we got to the registration office, the ladies, asked us if we were going to camp, and we told her yes. And she recommended that we go clockwise. We decided to listen to her because on our way out, everything was downhill. Had we gone counterclockwise, our first 3 miles of the hike would have been uphill at a very high incline, like a vertical.
It was super steep. Yeah.
It was very vertical.
I probably wouldn't have made it. We probably would have gone 2 miles, and I would have said, and we would have turned around.
And it was hard enough on the way out going downhill.
With my old man pole. I'm glad we didn't video my
Thank
old
goodness
man
we had
pole.
trekking poles.
Everything about the Butterfield Trail, once you get on the trail, the Blue Blazes, they were great. I don't think we got lost at all once we were on the trail. All the descriptions were great. Matter of fact, I meant to talk about this earlier. I used this book. It's the Arkansas Hiking Trails from Tim Ernst. We're trying to make it through most of these. There's a bunch of smaller ones that I'm not going to worry with, but this is an awesome resource for hiking in Arkansas. When she told us to go clockwise, I assumed she meant once you go over that bridge. It's a fairly famous bridge for the Devil's Den Trail. So when we went over the very first bridge, which is right by the waterfall, or the little dam, we turned left to go clockwise. And that took us to almost to a camping site. the RV park. When we started going that direction, I said, I don't think this is right. So we turned around, walked all the way back, and then walked through a parking lot, over a road, and then down a road.
Through a campsite.
Yeah, through campsites. And then we took a different trailhead. There's another trailhead there, and that wasn't right. Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. That didn't feel right either, so we turned back around and went back to the campground. And then I started reading on my pamphlet where it says to go in at campsite 7. When you're walking past, if there's a ton of cars parked there at that lot, you're not going to see any of the signs, and the trailhead goes down, so you don't see it. Once we hit that and went across the creek,
yeah.
It was fine. Everything after that was easy. There was the 1 mile sign, and all the Blue Blazes were great. So we wound up camping at Rock Hole Camp. The campsite, when we came to it, I knew when I saw it that I wanted to stay there because it's right by the creek. We put our tent right up at the creek, 6 feet from the water, and it was beautiful. We got there, we started a fire, we unpacked, set camp, had 32 ounces of coffee and dinner. As far as I can tell, it was the very first primitive campsite that I saw on the trail.
You're in a valley, so there's no cell phone signal when you need to Google something like how to filter water. It matters.
So that was our hike through Devil's Den. I'm sure we're gonna video our next one. I'm gonna try to get some more B-roll for the next couple of hikes. I wanna be able to show you guys more about the hike. If you dug the video, click subscribe below. If you have any comments or questions, just hit those in the bottom. And we'll see you soon.